You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Good morning, early risers. Welcome back to reality. It is Monday, February 26th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. It is an early morning dose of reality this morning.
Mondays are like that, yes.
It's Monday, but it's going to be a great day again, we think. Right, John Scalzi?
I am so excited about this week.
Wow.
I just can't. The weather is going to be spectacular for everybody, no matter what you like. Whether you like cool, crisp weather, whether you like warm, toasty weather, it's in the forecast for you this week.
Nice.
How about that?
We like that. We'll take it.
That is a promise. This morning, the morning commute, absolutely A-OK. None of the issues that we watch are a problem this morning. And if you're traveling today, all airport hubs serving Sarasota are running on time at this moment. We had a little bit of showery activity during the overnight last night. Don't know if you were up to notice it. I certainly slept through it, but it was around mostly in inland areas, and I think we could see a similar sort of situation today, probably less so, but a few scattered inland showers possible. Near the coast, we stay dry. Satellite view doesn't show a lot in the way of any kind of rainfall around, and your planner today calls for another warm one. Daytime highs in the 80s once again today with a lot of sunshine in the afternoon. We'll have the complete forecast, including that cool, crisp weather, coming your way in just a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Checking the first alert traffic right now. Some early buildup for this time of the day on 301 northbound. Also, look north of the river there from Palmetto, heading toward downtown Bradenton. That's pretty busy for this time of day. Northern half of Sarasota County, not much to report so far. Checking farther south to our friends, the South County, nothing much there either. We'll keep checking every 15 minutes. It's 5:02 right now. You tried to say on your Monday morning.
All right, and the streets are getting a little bit busier right now. You're taking a live look at Bee Ridge Road and South 41. You can check your up-to-the-minute traffic updates right on your phone. Just download the app, but that is a live look outside for you right now as we're waking up this morning. Now make sure you search WWSB or My Suncoast in the App Store, and we'll have that for you. Well, this week, the students from Stoneman Douglas will return to school for their first day of class since a gunman took down 17 of their classmates.
ABC's Candace Gibson tells us how students are preparing for an emotional day.
This morning, an inside look at Stoneman Douglas High School. Students sharing these videos with ABC News as they return to the school for the first time since the massacre that left 17 people dead.
It's heavy, after imagining what went down and seeing the building again, it's a lot.
Thousands of people, including students and parents, attended a voluntary campus orientation.
It feels sad, I'm not gonna lie. It feels, a lot of, backpacks in classrooms that kids were not allowed or able to take that day. So, and you see a lot of students crying.
The freshman building where the massacre happened will never be used again. The superintendent says it'll be torn down and likely the scene of a memorial park. Meanwhile, Florida Governor Rick Scott now calling for an investigation into the shooting response as the Broward County Sheriff comes under pressure to resign. 74 Republican state lawmakers sent a letter to Governor Scott, urging him to suspend Sheriff Scott Israel, who's a Democrat, accusing him and his department of ignoring repeated warning signs about the suspected shooter. Despite the mounting questions, the sheriff says he's not going anywhere.
It was a shameful, politically motivated letter that had no facts, and of course I won't resign.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Meantime, Governor Scott and House and Senate leaders have released proposals in response to the shootings at Stoneman Douglas High School. Some of those include raising the minimum age to buy a firearm to 21, spending $500 million on school mental health programs and strengthening school security, and deputizing teachers who undergo law enforcement training and then allowing them to carry a weapon in classrooms.
Now, what's not in these proposals? An outright ban on semi-automatic rifles like the type of the weapon that was used at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. Democrats are insistent that any proposal should include this, but right now Republican leaders are not going along.
The rush to address the Parkland shootings has distracted the one thing lawmakers are required to do each year, and that is pass a budget. Still, leaders insist they are close to a spending agreement, even if they have to shift some priorities around to pay for the proposed school safety measures.
And the number of companies that have cut business ties with the NRA continued to grow over the weekend. Both Delta and United Airlines announced on Saturday that they will no longer offer flight discounts to NRA members. The carriers joined several other companies that are ending ties with the group amid criticism over its refusal to back stronger gun laws following this earlier week's mass shooting in Florida. Now, several car companies, including Enterprise, Hertz, and Avis, say they are ending discount programs with the NRA as well. Insurance giant MetLife will no longer offer home and auto policy discounts for NRA members. In a statement, the NRA accused those companies of trying to punish its members as a result of what happened in our state.
This week, back in this area, Venice City Council will discuss a proposal to fund additional school resource officers. They want to put a third full-time officer at Venice High School and also Venice Elementary with a floater that would cover both. So tomorrow, the Venice Mayor, John Hollick, is expected to discuss with Council about funding a position immediately, even if it's from reserves, and talk with the county and state about being paid back later. The city currently provides 2 Venice police officers for the high school under an annual agreement with the county school district.
Well, the Stoneman Douglas High School hockey team is making a lot of noise. They won the state title over the weekend, 11 days after their high school was gunned down by a former classmate. Now, players said the emotions from that day turned into passion for their sport. Hockey became their escape. And after winning the state title against Tampa Jesuit, they hope it can be a glimmer of light for others.
Last week and a half has been rough. Hockey's just kind of takes away all the pain and all the thoughts. Just kind of get away and just play. We came here to win. That's what we did.
I was just glad to be alive, and I live for them now.
And the Eagles scored 7 goals in that victory. Goalie Nathan Shields had a remarkable 46 saves between the pumps.
It's hard to believe. Wow.
It is, but it makes sense though, like especially for something like that, athletes, it's a way to kind of focus on that, and it takes your mind away from everything else that's going on. So it makes sense that there was all that going on. Good for them though. They need some positive news this time.
They certainly do.
Yeah, it's good news for them.
5:07 right now, still ahead. First alert traffic and storms ravaged the Midwest over the weekend. We've got the damages for you.
And coming up a little later in the hour, an app that just might help block all those annoying robocalls out there.
But first, a peek at our nation's capital. Beautiful shot there of the rotunda.
Gorgeous.
Nicely lit up there on this Monday morning. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So temperatures across the region are still pretty mild this morning, coming in the near 70-degree range most everywhere. 68 Wauchula, 69 Arcadia, Mayaca, Parrish at 68, so is Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 69. In Sarasota, you've got 67 degrees, 70 in Northport, 70 Longboat Key, 69 in Inglewood and Northport, and Punta Gorda coming in at 66. The official air temperature from the location showing some, some dew point values that are still pretty warm, coming in at 66. Take 10 degrees at least off those dew points by the end of the week, meaning some drier air is on the way, some less humid air. I think this afternoon will feel a little bit muggy to some people out there as we start to see a wind out of the southeast shift even further to the southwest this afternoon and kind of draw in a little bit more moisture. That could lead to some patchy fog around tomorrow morning as well, so we'll be watching for that. By 9 o'clock this morning, we're at 74 degrees. Should be a beautiful start to the day. Plenty of sunshine around, only a few fair weather passing clouds. Almost 80 degrees by 12 noon. Again, a few clouds building, mostly in inland areas. And then as we head into the afternoon, about 3 p.m., rain-free along the coastline with a temperature of 83, but inland temperature may be a degree or two warmer, and you may have an isolated shower beginning late in the afternoon into the early evening hours in inland areas. And I mean Hardee and DeSoto counties mostly. 73 degrees by about 7 o'clock this evening. Forecast across the region, well, it features dry conditions for us, but certainly that's not the case in the deep south. There will be some showers moving into the Atlanta area a little bit later on this afternoon. Could lead to some airport delays. Titan radar shows those showers that lifted northward across Hardee and DeSoto and very inland sections of Manatee and Sarasota counties. But I think today the focus is going to be more and more in inland areas. Temperatures, generally speaking, are running around the 70-degree mark now as we head into the lunchtime hour. We'll be close to the 80-degree mark. Winds will start coming up out of the south, and eventually we'll watch those winds turn even a little further to the southwest, keeping the coast a tad bit cooler by afternoon and into the evening, while the inland temperatures certainly are a little bit warmer and one or two stray showers pop up because of the sea breeze that builds. And then during the overnight, a little bit of patchy fog perhaps across the region. We'll watch for that. Otherwise, I think we're looking at a pretty good couple of days with not much change occurring. We do have a frontal boundary just to our north, and I think what we'll notice is the high pressure ridge, which has provided us with this beautiful weather, kind of gets pushed a little bit further to the south as that low moves out into the Atlantic. With that, a frontal boundary stalls out just to our north. That frontal boundary may try to inch its way a little bit closer to us tomorrow and then kind of fall apart just a little bit. We'll still have warm conditions. That front's not going to cool us off. We'll have mostly dry conditions, though we may see an isolated shower or two tomorrow because of that front kind of washing out over Florida. But then we'll wait for another front to arrive, bringing us a significantly cooler weekend. Watch the extended range forecast. Southeast wind comes in at about 10, shifting a little bit more to the west, 2-foot seas and a light chop. An 53 high tide and a low tide at 327. Here's your forecast. 83 today, 83 tomorrow, slight chance of rain. 82 on Wednesday, Thursday 82. Now watch this. Temperatures start to fall on Friday, and over the weekend we're looking at nighttime lows in the 50s and daytime highs in the mid-70s. Perfect weather for a lot of folks. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. It is 5:14. We're going to look outside and check out your first alert traffic this morning. Not too much to see out there. The roads are still pretty clear. We do have a little bit of a slowdown right there on 301, just a little blip a little bit farther south than State Road 70. If you're heading into North Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty good out there this morning, mostly congestion-free. A little farther south into South Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty congestion-free as well. And if you want to head a little farther south into Venice, South Venice area, again, not too much to see. The roads are running light with traffic this morning so far. So you should have a good early morning commute. Well, this morning, students who attend one Sarasota Catholic school are staying home. This comes after the Suncoast sees another school threat.
This one at Cardinal Mooney on Fruitville Road near McIntosh. Our Marla Spence is live near the campus with the details of the story. Marla.
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, at least 5 schools on the Suncoast have seen threats following the deadly school shooting in Parkland today. Cardinal Mooney Catholic High School is adding to that list of schools here on the Suncoast that have seen threats after a message surfaced online by a student threatening to shoot up the school. According to a parent who reached out to ABC7, the alleged threat was found in a student group chat and on social media. The superintendent of Catholic schools released an email to parents last night around 10:45 alerting parents school would be closed after and all after school activities would be canceled as well. Also in that email, parents were told the situation is being evaluated and more information regarding school opening for tomorrow would be provided later on today. Once we find out more information when school will be opening, we will bring you the latest on air and online. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. Developing overnight now, one person is dead after a massive avalanche in Washington state. A group of 5 people were in the area when the avalanche hit. The sheriff's office there says 2 people have minor injuries and 2 others were buried. Officials say that the conditions in the area are extremely hazardous.
Well, this morning, the cleanup begins as hundreds across the Midwest and South are recovering from severe storms over the weekend. At least 4 people were killed in 2 different states on Saturday due to tornadoes. The National Weather Service is now sending out crews to survey that damage. The preliminary report says they saw up to 90-mile-an-hour winds across some parts of Arkansas.
We're all still in a state of shock. It's just hard to comprehend that something like this can happen.
Now, the National Weather Service said that 5 tornadoes touched down near the Tennessee and Kentucky state line.
Emergency officials say that after the damaging wind threat and heavy showers, flash flooding will continue this week. The Weather Service said moderate flooding was expected along the Ohio River in Kentucky and Ohio, including in Cincinnati, where the river was 8 feet above flood stage yesterday.
We'll need some help for some road repair. Then we have some storm drains that were blown open and broken just from the volume of water, so we're hoping to get some relief with that as well.
The governors of Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois declared disaster emergencies. Flood watches and warnings spanned several states Sunday from Missouri to central Pennsylvania, while a wind advisory was in effect for nearly all of lower Michigan. Now, my brother lost power in Buffalo because of strong winds yesterday.
It was very windy out there yesterday. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, good news for you fans of Samsung smartphones. Coming up in Tech Bites, we're going to show you Samsung's 2 latest smartphones so you can decide if they're worth the buy.
And next half hour, more studies suggesting companies like Uber and Lyft are a big part of traffic jams. Interesting story. We'll have that on the way. But first, here's a peek at the nation's largest city, New York City. Very pretty at this hour of the day. Still some traffic there this morning already, as you see there in the lower part of your screen. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Thousands of award-winning Honda Civics are on sale for $169 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. Drive one today for just $169 a month, or save thousands on your Civic with 0.9% financing. Civic, a KBB.com best buy for less than the competition. Only $169 a month or 0.9% this week at your local Honda dealer.
Honda,
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Here's a live look at one of the busiest intersections out in the Suncoast right now. Not the case, of course, at 5:21 a.m. This is Bee Ridge and 41. Tammy Trail there at the car wash, the mall, and some cars speeding by our camera there. We'll update traffic in about 5 minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. On to consumer news now. Negotiating your rent. That's right, might be easier than you realize. But first, Stephanie has details of a new app that could help block those annoying robocalls.
That's right. That is right, Ray. The Department of Justice is cracking down on phone scams. Good news. The most common offender, those robocalls. Now, they're the #1 consumer complaint to the FCC. Almost 3 billion of these calls nationwide in just 1 month. But the good news is that now a tech company in New Jersey says it has a new remedy. It's a new app that it calls RoboKiller.
They're targeting really the most vulnerable in society.
Now, that new app blocks the phone calls from entering your phone in the first place, and then it fights back for you, wasting the spammer's time by chit-chatting with it. Well, one promise of ride-hailing companies like Uber and Lyft was a drop in the number of cars that were clogging up city roads, right? Cutting down on some of those traffic jams. But recent studies in cities from Boston to New York to San Francisco suggest the opposite, that the companies are pulling riders off of buses, subways, and bicycles and then putting them in the cars instead. Now, those companies have pushed back against reports. However, they say ride-hailing is actually making it possible to reduce the number of personally owned cars on the roadways. And when it comes to a new car, a new house, maybe your child's bedtime, they are all things that you know you can negotiate. So when it comes to rent, why is it that we don't usually think we can negotiate that?
Well, you always think about negotiating when you're going to buy a house, right? And it's this long-term purchase. But when you're thinking about renting, you see a price and you think it's set in stone. But the reality is that there's a price that's listed, but then there's the desire of a landlord to have all of those units filled. So really, you have the upper hand sometimes when you're looking for a place that you can rent.
Well, it is one of your biggest monthly expenses, and tonight at 6 o'clock here on ABC 7, we're going to show you a few surprising ways that you can negotiate a lower price on that monthly rent. Well, the wait is over for Samsung fans. The company has unveiled 2 new flagship smartphones.
ABC has details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Samsung's new super smartphones, the Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, have been unveiled.
There's no dramatic design change, but the company says the cameras have improved and the phones will have the ability to send animated emojis similar to Apple's Animojis. Ride-hailing apps are being blamed for more traffic.
New studies show companies like Uber and Lyft are a big contributor to big city traffic jams because they lure people away from public transportation. Both Uber and Lyft have rolled out features to increase occupancy in cars.
And not a lot of walking going on the catwalk in Milan, Italy. Dolce & Gabbana's fall 2018 fashion show put drones to work instead to carry handbags.
Yeah, so the audience had to accommodate the remote control presentation by shutting off Wi-Fi and personal hotspots for some 45 minutes.
Anna Wintour apparently was not happy.
Oh, all right. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
When is she ever?
Tech Bites, brought to you by Flonase.
You wouldn't accept an incomplete job from anyone else, so why accept it from your allergy pills? Most pills don't finish the job because they don't relieve nasal congestion. Flonase allergy relief is different. Flonase relieves sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, and a runny nose, plus nasal congestion, which pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. Start your day with Flonase for more complete allergy relief. Flonase, this changes everything.
Before people invite something new into their homes, they want to know who you are. We're Almond Breeze, and we only use California-grown Blue Diamond almonds in our almond milk, cared for by our family of almond growers. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. The best almonds make the best almond milk.
Olay Regenerist shatters the competition, hydrating skin better than prestige creams costing over $100, $200, and even $400 for skin that looks younger than it should. Fact check this ad in Good Housekeeping. Olay Regenerist, ageless.
My Hometown Fest is coming to Nathan Benderson Park Saturday, March 3rd. Join us for culinary favorites from across the U.S. paired with your favorite craft beers. There's also great live music and activities for adults and kids. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
The group of patients who really need this care have a very difficult time accessing it. So they can have trouble finding doctors who will provide care in a non-judgmental way.
Planned Parenthood offering transgender hormone therapy to those making a change, but who is paying for the medication? I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have that story as we take it to the Trappistway.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Coming up this morning on Good Morning Suncoast, the back and forth over gun control and school safety continue this weekend. We'll tell you the plan President Trump discussed at this weekend's Governor's Ball.
The gates to Cardinal Moody Catholic High School will remain closed this morning after a student threatens to shoot up the school. We have more straight ahead.
And little black dress night for a good cause. We'll tell you about a unique campaign in North Carolina. Those stories, weather, and traffic this half hour on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Good morning to you and welcome to Monday morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. February 26th. John Scalzi's got details of it. Should be a very interesting week, right, John?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a lovely week because, A, you've got some warm weather, which a lot of people like, but a lot of people also want a little bit cooler weather. And we've got a little bit cooler weather, which the people that like the warm weather don't particularly like, but the people who like the cold weather are really excited about. So everybody is going to be happy this week. Everybody. We're looking at some temperatures outside that are going to be nice over the course of the next several hours. I think we'll see the temperatures continue to rise. They're already right now kind of mild out there, coming in close to the 70 mark. As we head into 7 a.m., 67 degrees. As we head into 12 noon, about 80 already. And then as we finish up the afternoon, coming in at about 83 degrees. Maybe an isolated shower in inland areas, but I think along the coastline, everybody stays, pretty comfortable, I think. We had a few scattered showers inland yesterday. We'll probably see the same sort of situation again this afternoon. School bus forecast for the kids looks just fine. I think everybody will be enjoying a nice warm start to the morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll probably see the temperatures continue to be very mild and dry for the kids to be dropped off at the bus stops. Maybe inland, there might be an isolated shower in Wauchula or Ona or Arcadia. But along the coastline, I think everything will be just fine. That complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right. Good sales job there. Thank you, John. Talk to you soon. Checking the roads, 15th Street East in the southbound lane. Showed some early buildup there off State Road 64, otherwise pretty clear in Manatee County now. You'll see a little buildup there on Fruitville Road in the westbound lane as you head toward Tuttle. And then farther south, we'll check that map. All clear at 531. We'll check a busy spot right now in Sarasota County. This is the intersection of 41 and Bee Ridge. Usually a very busy spot during the day, of course. Right now, not too much.
Are seeing some little traffic pickup though. Everybody getting that early start on Monday morning.
Yep.
Hoping to beat the traffic. Really early start on Monday morning.
Traffic camera there, by the way. I learned the hard way last year. There's a traffic camera there.
Oh, good. Yeah, red light camera.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Expensive. All right, 5:31 right now on your Monday morning.
Well, this morning, another school threat may have students staying home.
This one happened at Cardinal Mooney High School on Fruitville Road near McIntosh. Marla Spence is there with the latest on this story. Marla?
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, the gate to Cardinal Mooney Catholic High School will remain closed this morning after a message surfaced on Snapchat and also a group chat by a student threatening to shoot up the school. According to a parent that reached out to ABC7, she alerted us about this message, and once that message was received by us, we also received an email by the superintendent of Catholic schools. Now, that email was alerting parents that the school would be closed today after that message was surfaced online. The superintendent of Catholic schools also stating that that school was closed around 10:45 tonight, saying that this school would not be open this morning for students for after-school activities as well as for classes this morning. Now, that email also stating that this situation is being evaluated, and once more information regarding that threat and also when the school will be open will be released later on today. Now, once we find out more information, we will bring you the latest on air and online. And this is nearly the 6th school on the Suncoast that have seen threats, and law enforcement is stressing to parents to have that talk with their kids to let them know that messages like this is not a game and it should not be taken lightly. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. Continuing coverage now on keeping students safe in schools.
President Trump told some of the nation's governors that he's going to make a school safety his top priority in the wake of that school shooting in Parkland. ABC's Tara Palmieri has details on his latest gun control plan.
Overnight, President Trump at a gala with the nation's governors vowed to tackle the politically divisive issue of gun control.
That will be one of the subjects, and I think we'll make that first on our list because we have to end our country of what's happening with respect to that subject.
The president, who touted his Second Amendment credentials on the campaign trail, is now putting pressure on the NRA. Following the deadly Parkland High School shooting, he proposed banning bump stocks, raising the purchasing age for semi-automatic weapons, and tougher background checks. The NRA disagrees with these proposals.
Let me just say the position is you do not want to raise the age.
That's what the NRA came out and said. That's correct.
President Trump will likely face resistance from members of his own party.
On the idea of raising the age on assault weapons from 18 to 21, are you personally supportive of that?
I'm very skeptical about that because the vast majority of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds are law-abiding citizens who aren't a threat to anyone.
The president also doubling down on his support for arming selected teachers, telling Fox.
And if they had concealed permits, you wouldn't have this problem today.
It's an idea his own daughter questions, telling NBC.
To be honest, I don't know. Obviously, there would have to be an incredibly high standard for who would be able to bear arms in our school.
While President Trump has vowed to take action on gun control, neither House Speaker Paul Ryan nor Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell have publicly called for legislation. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Well, after this month's school shooting and copycat threats all across the country, it should be no surprise that bulletproof backpacks are now in high demand. A company in Ohio says that interest has gone through the roof since that shooting in Parkland earlier this month. Now, they sell shield inserts that they say weigh about a pound, and they're designed to fit inside a book bag. They can stop at least 6 rounds of a handgun.
I think it's protecting us against, if that is a scenario, we have that protection, and parents have that in their mind that, okay, my child's there, they're going to be safer.
Now, that insert will set you back about $110, but it cannot hold bullets from the weapons such as AR-15s like the one that was used in Parkland.
A Red Cross volunteer from Hawaii is on the way to Broward County in the wake of the tragedy in Parkland. State Representative Ryan Yamain is also a disaster mental health volunteer. He'll provide comfort and guidance to those affected by the mass shooting.
Well, we deal with a lot of trauma and helping families not only be able to work with their loved ones, but also to help process a plan on how to move forward.
The Red Cross is supporting a family assistance center, and mental health and spiritual care volunteers are on hand as well.
And the Sarasota County Health Department is investigating after several people have been hospitalized with Legionnaire's disease. Now, those cases being reported in the Island Walk community in the West Villages district in Northport. As a result, the Department of Health has closed the Island Walk spa and swimming pool and is investigating other possible sources of transmission. Now, it's not something that we hear of often, but Legionnaire's is a type of pneumonia. You can't catch it person to person, but most people get it from inhaling microscopic water droplets containing the bacteria. Outbreaks have been linked to hot tubs, mist machines, swimming pools, and cooling towers in air conditioning systems. Legionnaire's usually develops after 2 to 10 days after that exposure. Some symptoms include headache, muscle pain, chills, and fever.
Manatee County first responders will start using drones to figure out some hazmat situations. In fact, here's video from a drill hosted by Southern Manatee Fire Rescue over the weekend. The aerial thermal imaging camera will determine the type of hazard, if nearby areas should evacuate, if roads should be closed, and use the cameras to look for victims as well. And then the teams want to properly respond without putting crews in danger.
For us to be able to get in within just a few minutes and identify what kind of hazard this is, whether it's something that's going to blow up or whether it's something that's going to poison people, it tells us which direction to take the incident.
Crews successfully used the technology last year while responding to this 5-alarm fire at Callahan Tires. For the latest on this story and breaking news and the forecast, go to our app. You can find it at WWSB or My Suncoast. New details now on the president of Mexico calling off a meeting with President Trump. This reportedly comes after a tense phone call between the two. During the two, the Mexican president called off the trip because, reportedly, President Trump refused to publicly affirm Mexico's opposition to the border wall. A White House official did tell CNN that the call between the two leaders was, quote, less hostile than the one that occurred a year ago.
And a little north of that border, a man in California was arrested for an RUI, riding under the influence. That's right. Long Beach police say an intoxicated man galloped onto the freeway on his birthday. They stopped him and gave him a field sobriety test, which he failed with more than double the legal limit there. The man was arrested and he was booked for riding a horse under the influence. The Long Beach police tweeted this reminder: no, you may not ride your horse on the freeway, and certainly not while intoxicated.
No, never horse around with that.
Sorry.
A fashion faux pas for a good cause. People are signing up to wear the same dress 5 days in a row to bring attention to the growing poverty issue in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I believe I just read that the number is 170,000 people in Mecklenburg County are affected by poverty and homelessness. That's our neighbors, it's people in the community, it's people you may see, it's people you may not see. And that's why we're all getting together to talk about the issue.
Much of that discussion will take place through social media channels. That impact is made possible through the 5 days worth of donations being collected for the initiative. Their goal this year is to raise $60,000. $1,000. You probably have 5 different black dresses, don't you?
Every woman should in their dress. They may all look like the same thing, but we swear they're 5 different black dresses.
That's like us with khakis.
Right, yes, you guys in your khakis.
Not quite as glamorous. Still ahead, first alert traffic and weather, and Hawaii is the latest state looking at the controversial debate about assisted suicide.
Plus, an Oscars preview. We're going to show you an increasing trend among women in the business. We like this one.
The nation's capital awakening to 50 degrees right now. There's a pretty shot of the rotunda. Busy place right now. Gun control debate is all the talk right now in Washington. And you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
This is a required monthly test of the emergency alert system. Had this been an actual emergency or dangerous situation, official messages and directions would have followed the alert tones. This test is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and your local broadcast station or cable provider. This concludes the required monthly test.
For you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We're looking at temperatures across the region, which are generally holding in the upper 60s to pretty close to the 70-degree mark. It's a little bit humid out there, but it's still very mild and very pleasant for a lot of folks, I think. Now, we'll probably watch that humidity increase just a little bit over the next 24 hours or so. And then as we head into tomorrow morning, we have a likelihood of seeing a little bit of fog form. A little bit better chance than we have this morning, which is not all that great. 67 the actual air temperature at the airport. Dew point value coming in at 66. So pretty close together, temperature and dew point, and consequently we have that high relative humidity at 97%. Southeast wind helping to bring the moisture our way, and that southeast wind will shift a little more southwest over the next 24 hours, which will help spike the humidity further. So as we look at the hour-by-hour forecast for you, you'll notice a lot of sunshine today, fair weather clouds, not much of a rain chance, except perhaps in inland areas, Wauchula, Ona, Arcadia, all possibly locations for a brief shower late in the afternoon, early in the evening. Otherwise, I'm not putting a rain chance in for coastal residents at all. We'll look for 74 degrees by about 9, almost the 80-degree mark by 12, and well above average once again today, coming in at 83 degrees by 3 p.m. as temperatures taper off into the 70s after sunset. So it's a very nice start to the day. Now, the Atlanta airport, if you're traveling today, could see a little bit later on some airport delays as an area of low pressure approaches that region. It might trigger off some thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. So far, it looks pretty quiet up there. There are no airport delays being reported at any of our airport hubs. A few scattered showers kind of worked their way through the area last night in inland areas, and I think this will probably be the same general location where if we see showers develop today, that's probably where they'll be. We'll have a general easterly to southeasterly wind flow throughout the morning hours. Temperatures will steadily climb up to near the 80-degree mark as we head into lunchtime. And we'll start to watch the wind shift a little bit more to a southwesterly direction, an onshore direction. That's going to help bring up our moisture and give us that chance of some patchy fog around tomorrow morning. Maybe a pop or two of quick rain shower activity inland late in the afternoon. And then as we head into the nighttime period, those onshore winds bringing a little bit of fog around the region as you wake up tomorrow morning, I think. So the forecast is going to be kind of a complex one over the next 24 hours. We do have an area of low pressure down here, which is going to be moving off to the north and to the east. As it moves out into the Atlantic, it forces that high pressure ridge south. We have another front, which in a kind of altered state and altered form will eventually work its way closer to us, and that one promises big changes as we head into the weekend. Show you that in the extended range forecast in a second. Front number one, the first one, kind of stalls out just over North Florida, but it does kind of nudge that high pressure ridge a little further to the south, in effect pushing our winds a little bit more out of the southeast, eventually twisting them a little more southwest as high pressure kind of builds in from the north. That'll take this front and kind of push it a little closer to us tomorrow as somewhat of a backdoor cold front, and it'll kind of fall apart as it does that. So it's not going to bring us any colder air, but it will bring us a slight little chance of an isolated shower. Still warm, mostly dry, and then we'll wait for a cooler weekend coming our way. Forecast shaping up like this. We'll look for a southeast wind shifting to the southwest at about 10 knots with a southwest wind at about 5 knots this evening. Should be a nice day. Your forecast looks like this. We'll have today 83, tomorrow 83 with a chance of rain, 82 on Wednesday. You get the picture. In 80s for most of the week. Then the front comes through on Friday most likely, drops our temperatures, and watch what happens over the weekend. Copious amounts of sunshine with daytime highs in the mid-70s. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful low humidity weekend. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside. 5:40 this morning. It's your first alert traffic. Starting to see a little bit more congestion as the morning wears on a little bit. Definitely around the 301 and State Road 64 area if you're in or around Bradenton. Now, if you're heading into North Sarasota, you're starting to see some of the backup on Fruitville Road and Bee Ridge Road there, as well as another little slowdown area right there on Clark Avenue as well. And then in South Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty clear out there this morning. Not a lot of gridlock just yet this time of the day. If you want to head a little bit farther into the Venice and South Venice area, again, those roads are looking pretty light with traffic as of this morning. And that is your first alert traffic. Well, in this hour's Health Smart, Hawaii is the latest state looking to legalize assisted suicide.
It is one of about 24 states right now considering a similar law. It's modeled after California's law. The bill would institute a process for terminally ill adults in Hawaii who have less than 6 months to live. they could obtain doctor-prescribed drugs that would end their lives. But of course, there are those on both sides of the issue.
I think the bill Tuesday that's going to be heard is the right bill for this time. It makes sense. It doesn't have a sunset date. It's not overprotective.
We know that we are made in the image and likeness of God. And every life is precious.
If approved, Hawaii will be the 7th state to allow assisted suicide. Florida, by the way, is not on that list. It's the #1 cause of death for those under the age of 50 in our country, the opioid epidemic. It's hitting especially hard here on the Suncoast. Dozens took part at a symposium at St. Martha's School called "The Opioid Crisis: Is Your Family at Risk?" Among those on hand, relatives of victims, the medical examiner, and a judge. A church deacon named Pat McCauley from Mount St. Mary Academy in Little Rock, Arkansas was here to be a keynote speaker.
We're losing 15 people a day in Florida. That amounts to almost 4,500 people a year. And that's 10% of how many deaths are in the United States. So Florida is contributing with 10% of the opioid deaths in the United States, and that's not really a good record to have.
Community leaders discussed how to prevent an overdose, what to ask your doctor before taking opioids, and how to talk to children about drugs.
Well, lightening it up a little bit on a night that often celebrates young, fresh-faced stars. This year, the Academy Awards is recognizing more older women in the top acting categories. Now get this, the average age of the nominees for Best Supporting Actress this year is 55 years old. The youngest in the Best Supporting Actress category is Octavia Spencer, who is 45 years old.
Women of a certain age have not had the opportunities that men of a certain age have always been afforded. That is finally starting to change, and it's been a really long time coming.
Well, the good news is that some see this year as the start of a shift created by better roles, more options for older actresses. Now, as far as the Best Actress category, 3 of those 5 nominees are all over 40 as well. Some good news out there. The favorite to win, Frances McDormand, she is 60. Meryl Streep, another nominee, she is 68 years old.
Wow.
It is.
Big award ceremony is Sunday night.
And you can see it right here on ABC 7.
That's right.
All right, coming up next, we're going to take a look at some of your top headlines, including what's going on today at Cardinal Mooney Catholic High School. It's going to be closed today due to a social media threat.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC7 is seeking a multimedia local sales manager. Strong new business, digital, and OTT background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
A reported threat at Cardinal Mooney High School is causing parents to keep their students home today. This is the 4th Suncoast school to have an issue in the past 2 weeks.
Plus, the Sarasota County Health Department is investigating several cases of Legionnaire's disease in Northport. Now, that disease is usually transmitted after inhaling microscopic mists of water in a pool or hot tub that's been contaminated.
And those fighting the opioid epidemic on the Suncoast met over the weekend at St. Martha's School in Sarasota County. This area has some of the highest rates per capita nationwide of opioid overdoses.
And coming up a little later, next hour, you can check out the 4 finalists who are hoping to be Northport's next police chief. We're going to show you the candidates when we come back.
5:56, more local news and John's forecast of the week coming up next right here.
Very excited about it, too.
Here he is. Stay with us.